walked out of an apartment with all the stuff still in it. When I slid the keys under the door, there were still jumbo tubs of mayonnaise in the fridge. I headed south. In Jakarta a couple of years before, I had met a Texan guy. He ran a boutique hotel near the diplomatic district, and the first time we met, we'd stayed up all night on the roof of the hotel, the pool shimmering and the call to prayer sounding at 4 a.m. from the mosque below. That first conversation, mostly about books and writing, lasted until the sun came up. I wondered if this could be love. He was the biggest hedonist I'd met. He was now back in Texas, and the prospect of seeing him again filled me with excitement and a smattering of fear. He'd be picking me up from the airport in a red Cadillac. But first, Atlanta. I went in face first, eating Americana, baked sweet potato covered in marshmallows and coated in splendor, with hunks of cola-basted baked turkey for Thanksgiving. Then the bus to Savannah, drinking in the streets, Spanish moss, pretty graveyards, and this place called Angel's Barbecue, where I first tasted and adored proper Southern cooking. Then a week in New Orleans for a travel story. A sign at the airport saying this was the #1 city for liver transplants. A band that looked and sounded like the Cat Empire, playing for hours in a back street of the French Quarter under shifting shafts of sunlight. Mint juleps, martinis, shots of bourbon, appropriately on Bourbon Street, jazz bars, gumbo. Reviewing a restaurant called Mother, whose side portions of mac and cheese spread across enormous dinner plates. Then, finally, Austin with my Texan friend, who had grown a beard and put on 12 kilos since Jakarta. Restaurants, brunches, Tex-Mex, red wine, chess in front of an open fire at the W, live music, beer, house parties, cocaine, melted cheese dip and corn chips, football games, women in cowboy boots cracking onto my Texan, me feeling sick with jealousy, no sleep, meeting a woman who had blown every rocker in Austin and was obsessed with the novels of Tim Winton. Nachos, enchiladas on hot plates, hot dogs on paper plates, tequila at brunch, rib joints, burger bars, piano bars, martini bars, dive bars. Starting to feel unwell all the time, my body protesting, actually aching at the excesses. On my flight back to New York, an elderly woman collapsed. They laid her out in the aisle and the plane dipped into LaGuardia and slid down the runway as fast as I've seen a plane land. She was fitted with an oxygen mask and taken out of the plane on a gurney. Her friends filed out behind her, alarmingly unconcerned. They were Texans coming to New York for Christmas shopping. The sick woman was a portent. I felt it. I also returned from the South feeling about 100 years old. Every part of me was tired. Back in New York, it was freezing. There was snow on the footpath, and the pine scent of freshly cut Christmas trees was in the air. I was not quite homeless. I had agreed to cat sit in a building on the Upper East Side for a friend of a friend. This woman lived in a room without any windows with a cat she had found in a dumpster. The cat's name was George Costanza. The room used to be a storage cupboard. That's why it had no windows. I was shocked that a cat could live in such a small space, let alone a human being. I quickly felt depressed in the airless bedsit with the scared, unhappy cat. Without a proper kitchen, I ate all my meals at a nearby diner. Eggs always coming with something called hash, bad coffee and bottomless cups. Sometimes I'd have dinner at my friend Brendan's house. He was trying to quit sugar. We ate pasta, drank vodka tonics and smoked outside. He talked of the withdrawals, irritability and headaches, cravings and crankiness, like sugar was a drug. His street ended with a sudden drop to an embankment leading to the long, thin Riverside Park that ran all the way down to West 72nd Street and, beyond the park, to the Hudson River. We stood out in the dark, facing the water. But I was thinking of a different body of water, one I always return to. Bondi, December. The way the sun made the cliffs golden in the late afternoon. The daily